podcast, but I just felt like making one after this new trade that came up. We're trading away Naheem Hines, sadly, but in return we're getting Zach Moss and a conditional 6th round pick. I'm pretty sure I'll put it up on the screen. Um, Zach Moss is 5'9", 205. A little bit shorter. He's shorter than me. Um, he had 5.4 yards average today. I mean, over the season, but only on 17 carries. And so, why do you think the Colts would want to trade away Naeem Hines? He's literally a good receiving back for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, we weren't really utilizing him enough in our scheme with Matt Ryan, as Matt Ryan got benched. Sam Ehlinger took over. Maybe I'll make a video about that later if you want that. You can shoot me one for one in the comments. But, yeah, so I'll start doing a little bit more, maybe podcast-wise, but to come back into the video, I'm going to be comparing him to Jonathan Taylor. I know some of you guys, Jonathan Taylor's a beast, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, not this year, last year he got like over 1,000 yards rushing. He got 2,000 yards, like all scrimmage, and obviously if you see him, he's kind of like a beast. So, Zach Moss, he was in the same draft class as Jonathan Taylor, 2020. He was drafted in the 3rd round, Taylor in the 2nd. I see a little bit of similarities here. Jonathan Taylor's 5'10", Zach Moss is 5'9". And now, so this year, obviously Jonathan Taylor hasn't had the best year this year, but this year he's only been averaging 4.3 yards a carry. You guys might think that's still good. I don't really know exactly if you think that's good. And, shoot it in the comments. Last year he obviously had more. Last year he averaged 5.5 yards. So that's like a yard and 0.2 more last year. But obviously coming off that ankle injury and all that stuff he's been through. But Zach Moss, this year he's averaged 5.4 yards average on only 17 rushing attempts. And total he's only got 91 yards. Not the most, but in Buffalo, who Zach Moss was, who we got from the Bills. He was from the Bills, drafted 2020. Honestly, I forgot what I was just talking about. So yeah, he had 17 carries, 91 yards, 5.4 average, 0 touchdowns. So I think what we can see him play a role in today for the Indianapolis Colts is maybe he could be more of a receiving back, or maybe we would eventually trade Jonathan Taylor for, I don't know, our future quarterback. If Sam Ehlinger steps up and wins football games but doesn't take us to the playoffs, then we'll need to get a higher draft pick to get a better quarterback, such as C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. I'm not much of a Bryce Young fan. I think Will Levis is doing good. I don't know if that's his name, but he's from Kentucky. I've heard some things about him. But, yeah, Zach Moss, I think maybe he could take over the role for Jonathan Taylor as having 3 running backs in the room. We have Deion Jackson, we have Zach Moss, and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's not been utilized the most. Yeah, some of you might say he's a beast and stuff like that. But, if you got to find your franchise quarterback, you just got to do it, back in the day, maybe a great running back could win you games, but now it's just different. Like, you need a really great quarterback. Not saying that Sam can't be our future guy, but just if that's where we have to go. And one reason for Jonathan Taylor's really bad, I mean, not as great success, is for our offensive line. Our offensive line has not been doing very well. Quentin Nelson, honestly, if he can't pick it back up, Ryan Kelly, you know, our offensive line was a beast like last year. It was like maybe top 5 or something like that last year. Um, it was really good. And coming into the season, we were like top 3, and then we just sunk. Like, we couldn't play good football. Um, I don't know. The Colts have just not gotten it together, but um, yeah, Zach Moss. Honestly, I think he's 1 inch shorter than JT. He um Jonathan Taylor. He is also 227 pounds. Is more heavy, maybe more gonna hit stick. But I encourage you guys to watch some of Zach Moss's highlights in your free time on Sunday, maybe when he gets to come out and play. Since Jonathan Taylor has not been doing very good in his ankle, um, maybe Zach Moss will come out and he'll show up and he'll show us why he should get the starting spot, and it shouldn't be Dion. I think they need to play Dion more. After some of those games, dude, Dion he was just playing, dude. Um, so I think the Indianapolis Colts need to start maybe utilizing Dion more, and Zach Moss, since he is a little bit lighter compared to Jonathan Taylor. He is 1 inch shorter. Um, since he is lighter, maybe he'll be more as a Nyheim Hines guy. In college, he did get like over 300 yards receiving his last year at Utah. So, I mean, maybe things will work out. And that conditional 6th round pick, um, uh, it could maybe turn into a 5th. And Chris Ballard, our general manager, he could turn around to something great. Like, he could do wild things with that. Also, what I showed you on the screen earlier, you might have saw. What's his name? I forget, but it was on the screen. That one guy, our offensive coordinator, he was fired recently. As of yesterday. I honestly, a lot of people have been blaming Coach Frank Reich for the losses of this football team. Um, honestly, that could be true, that could be wrong, but offensive coordinator, some people are coming to realize that offensive coordinator is the one who calls the plays. I'm not very sure. That's what I just heard. You guys can look more into detail on that. But I think that maybe this will help out the team. And Nyheim Hines, you know, maybe he'll be able to play in a better scheme with actual good quarterback that is Josh Allen, for the Buffalo Bills. So, but yeah, to wrap this video up, I'd like to say that Zach Moss can produce, and when you see him in there next Sunday with Dion, they can produce, and maybe Frank Reich, as he's going to be all of offense since there's no offensive coordinator, obviously. Other people can pitch in the offensive ways. I think so. I'm not necessarily sure. But, yeah, maybe this will turn the football team around, but we have gotten a lot of losses already, so I don't really know if that's going to open up us a wild card team for the playoffs. I'm not necessarily sure. We might not go to the playoffs. but we could get a great quarterback. Not saying that Sam Ellinger can't bear a future, but if he shows to step up and play athletically in the pocket while our offensive line is not very good, we might have a franchise guy on our hands. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you guys like this, drop a like, subscribe. Um, if you want some cooking videos, I could start some of those. Just comment what you want me to do, you know. I'll see you guys in the next one.